Daniel's Dread Tales is a show for grown-ups. It may contain adult language and adult themes. Please check the episode description for content warnings. Welcome back to Daniel's Dread Tales. This week, we'll be wrapping up our game of Final Girl with my old podcast buddies, Jay and Andrew. It's a game that uses a deck of cards and a bit of collaborative storytelling to make a horror movie. When we last left our story, a horrible electrical monster thing was killing the people of the small town of Butteville. Will anyone make it out alive? And will Jay and Andrew continue to make jokes about how Butteville sounds like the word butt? Let's find out.
We see Jeff get completely mauled and the lightning, going wild. Again, we still can't see what's beneath this potential lightning. There still seems to be some shadowy thing, some crackling sounds. Terry and Alexander round the corner and nothing. No lightning. Terry's freaking out. Alexander runs around the corner and spots Maggie, who's freaking out. He runs to his sister. We cut over to outside the church. People are spilling out. Some people are screaming because they see, obviously, these remains of these two children who were mauled earlier. People are freaking out. We have essentially people running around and yelling. And what happens is Deacon is kind of he's like, this has ruined me. Because of what's happened. Not a lot of people are going to come back to this church at this point. He spots Otis in the corner near the church looking at what's happened here. And Otis is looking around. People are screaming and running out of there. And Deacon eyes him and sees Otis kind of look around and then just kind of slip out around the back near the church. And looks like he's kind of walking out and walking away. And Deacon clocks this and just what is with this guy? And runs after him. We've got Deacon and Otis. Who's going to pick up the ball here for whoever?
I will be Otis.
Okay, I'll be Deacon. And I was thinking we could try this. We don't have to do this because this seems like it's going to be a scene with two people. But we could try maybe each one of us we could divide up our hand to be cards for one person, cards for the other person, and play through it that way if we need to kill more people quickly. Because I'm realizing I'm following the rules as written, but I think this is designed to have a couple more people playing it, which would make the body count go a little faster.
We could have, since we have established that Alexander ran off, we could have Deacon and Otis go towards where the latest attack just happened, so that it's technically 4 people there.
I mean, it is whatever you want. It's Jay is establishing the scene.
Well, here, I've got it. Well, let's consolidate some stuff here. So I'll continue it, and then I'll kick it over to you guys, however you want to handle it. Otis mysteriously walks away, doesn't say anything, slips back. The Deacon is having a meltdown. He's like, I've lost my church. 2 kids have just been murdered on my front lawn. I'm probably going to get investigated for tax evasion. All the problems. And he looks back and he notices Otis, and he just keeps thinking back how this guy has been pressuring him for years. He's got a tiny church, but a lot of land. So the land maintenance costs have been through the roof, and this guy has really hustled him. And basically he's just fed up. He's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you helping? And he goes and chases after him. And he sees Otis he rounds the corner of the church, and Otis has made quite a bit of distance. He thought he was only a few feet behind him, but now Otis is way ahead. And he's chasing after him, and Otis is going up to his old-timey groundskeeper truck when, right as he gets in the car and turns on the engine, a bigger junk truck pulls up behind his and parks. And Otis turns around eyeing big junk truck behind him, and who is in the driver's seat but Gina, our buff junkyard owner, and in the passenger seat, is Victor. And Victor is holding something in a bag. What happens?
Okay, so what we can do is we can both pick two characters. I'll draw two cards and remember what they are. I'll draw cards for one character, remember what they are, draw cards for the other character, and you can only play cards for those characters.
Yeah, I think that'll make sense. So we could kill 3 people in this scene.
I will be Gina and Otis.
The people driving in the driver's seats.
Yes, the people in the driver's seats.
No, Otis is the groundskeeper. Oh, yeah, you're right. They're both driving a car.
And then I guess I'll be Deacon and Victor. And I think Deacon's running over to Otis, says, Otis, where are you going, you fucking coward? We gotta do something about this.
He's like, what do you think I'm doing, you old, stupid preacher? It turns out the legend of Seymour Buttes is true.
You don't know shit!
You son of a bitch. How long have you been holding on to Seymour Buttes?
This whole time.
You bastard.
That's nothing! I don't know what they're talking about. And then Victor sort of sticks his head out of the truck. Actually, he's right. I think this is Seymour Buttes. We gotta do something about this, or the entire town's gonna be destroyed.
And Gina's like, get in, boys, get in, follow me, I've got an idea. And she hits a switch. And suddenly, there's all of these lights and other electronic junk things in the back of her truck that suddenly ignite. Almost like an enormous lure. Like, she and Victor have worked out what this thing is and what it's doing. And she immediately turns around, and as she's about to pull away and Deacon and Otis pulls up next to her, they both see in their rear view mirrors some kind of moving electrical storm.
I will tell you this. Panicking, Deacon jumps in the back of the truck.
Oh, whose truck? Otis's or?
It would have to be Otis's, because Gina's is like filled with junk. Basically,
what they see is, again, they're like, this church is at the end of a street, maybe a second street in this town, we can't be sure, but he sees in the distance a row of houses, right? All the power went out, and one house lights goes on, then off, then the closer house light goes on, then off, and it's just this doom doom doom, like the lights of the houses are like turning on closer and closer and closer and closer, and like they start like revving their engines of the car, and then it stops right short of the parking lot. And then, as you imagine, you hear like whoop, 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 as like the car alarms are going off as something is getting closer to them. And here comes the kill. So let's play card time.
So I believe I draw 2 for each of my characters because they both have one connection.
All right, let's see here. I believe that, yeah, I have the same. Yes, that will be this.
Well, I guess because Otis has a rivalry with Deacon, we've established, and the Deacon has a rivalry with Otis, and I guess a rivalry with Susan.
Yeah, so Deacon gets 3 cards.
Yeah, so for me, however you see it, my 2 left cards are for Otis, and my 2 right cards are for Gina.
I have them in my hand, but I put them on the left and on the right. I know whose is whose here. So
yeah, I have my order as well.
I'm gonna flip the first card, but I'm gonna say what happens. Car alarms go off, woo 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 woo, and Gina kicks it into gear and starts driving, but not before like basically the car alarms stop behind her, and to her left, one goes off immediately as this lightning tentacle that we've established before reaches out to grab Gina with a 7.
Whew. Well, Gina is very fit. She's been dealing with junk her whole life. And thankfully, she's on the ball as well, because she is a unique position in this town of sort of being an outsider like Victor, and maybe why they got along so well. And she notices immediately that this thing is coming towards her, and she doesn't hesitate and it placed it on the deck. I put down an 8 of spades over top of your 7.
So how does she escape this situation?
So she has it kicked into gear, so she's ready to drive, but she hits a switch, and the arm on the junk truck, the junk truck, we're just going to call it the junk truck. The arm on the junk truck, it's like a miniature crane, almost like a refurbished tow truck type of thing, and the arm immediately swings out and smacks this thing in the side, and she hits it into gear, and it floors it.
All right. So this thing takes a sizable blow.
For the record, Jay, you can, if you want, you could say it attacks everybody, and everybody has to play a card, and if they can't play a card higher.
Well, that's what's about to happen right now, because the cars are in chase, right? Like, she knocks it down. It gives them a chance to, like, back up and drive away. Like, Otis seems pretty competent in a car and cool and collected, I think we've established. And so does Gina. And they start driving parallel, moving out of this parking lot. And they hear the alarms go, whoop, 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 coming up behind. And because both their cars are parallel, this thing is leaping at both cars. And it flips a...
Oh, fuck!
Oh, baby!
This is gonna be a bloodbath.
Oh, no. For our listeners, I flipped an ace.
So, Daniel, what happens if you can't beat the card drawn?
How does this work, Daniel?
Oh, do you have an ace? What we do is blood beats black and stabby beats round, it says here. Diamond, heart, spade, club. A diamond is the highest.
We kicked off our mid-movie climax action scene, and it ends immediately.
Does it? I mean, do we do it in suit order? So does an ace of spades technically still beat an ace of clubs?
So club is actually the lowest suit of this, but it's still an ace. I'll throw out my cards, but it doesn't matter because I don't have any fucking aces. Oh, so none of this matters. I think, okay, so that means, because there needs to be one survivor.
I don't have any aces either.
The character who plays the highest card gets to survive.
Well, it's obvious who the survivor is.
I don't know if it is, to be quite honest.
I think Victor would be the person to survive this, and I think part of it would be that Gina would essentially throw him out of the car.
Victor does have my highest card. So, yeah, it actually... I know that makes sense narratively, but also literally in terms of the cards, that is what happens. So,
oh my God, Daniel, you had 2 kings?
Excellent. It was meant to be. So Gina sees what's coming, sees that the lure worked, and it's drawing the thing towards them, but it is almost like lightning, and there's no way they can get away. And she opens the door and immediately pushes him out.
And he rolls and hits the ground. He's bloody as he falls out of the car, clutching the thing that's the bag that he has, but it flies out of his hands and goes down a sewer drain.
Ooh, I like this twist. And the scene itself is just horrific. Like, the thing gets Gina, the wheel turns and slams into Otis and Deacon's car. Deacon flies through the air, hits a car, then their car pins Deacon and just splits him in half. And Otis goes through the windshield as he pins into the car and flies over and basically lands on the asphalt rolling. He's reaching out at the grass that he helped tend right by the parking lot, and of course, ironically, dies on the asphalt instead of the grounds that he kept so well maintained for so many years. All right, Daniel, it's you now. Everybody died. Let's get an updated tally for the listeners. So, who's still alive? Who is in the running for final girl?
We've got Terry, the himbo jock. We've got Maggie, the smarter than you think cheerleader. We've got Victor, the outsider who knows about the town's history. We've got the spider, who's the internet whiz and old lady. We've got Alexander, the boy detective. And we've got Jeanette, the old cat lady, who I assume is just sitting in her house.
She's the final girl because she doesn't interact with the story at all. She just stays in her house.
God damn it, what's going on out there? Isn't that right, Miss Mupsy?
Hey, this is what gets you killed, going on adventures. I'm just a voyeur.
All these hooligans always with their lightning. Isn't that right, Miss Mupsy?
Amazing. So we've got 6. We're down to 6. And a bunch of them are in one location.
Yeah, exactly. The people are now sort of running out into the street, trying to see what's going on. Just looking at the not only was there like weird power outages, now there's been a pretty nasty car accident. Even if people don't know, there's a thing that's eating people.
I also like that the 2 most probably competent adults that knew about the problem are dead. Meaning, Like Gina, who clearly was like maybe a mentor to Victor or a friend, so he's got personal stakes in this now, and she like built this thing and she's dead. And now, I mean, Deacon, he's dead, whatever. Yeah, he's like the community dad. And Otis is clearly got some mysterious connection to this thing and knew a lot more than he let on, and now he's dead. So we have very little information, just as we were so close to unlocking the most information.
And there is a manhole right in front of Spider's house, and we see the scene that we see here is, I think Victor is like at the manhole, like trying to rip it open with his hands, which is not how anything works. But like he does that without really thinking about it. He's like, I can't get it open. I need to get the relic. And the other folks are sort of standing there looking like, what's going on here? And I think pretty much everybody's there.
And two of them are blazed out of their minds. So
Miss Spider and Terry are high as fuck.
Yes, but it is in front of Jeanette's house because we've established she's across the street from the Spider's house.
Except for, of course, Jeanette, who's just in her house looking out the blinds with her binoculars.
Talking to her cat, Miss Mopsy.
Oh, she is. And she will not get involved, but she will criticize everyone.
You know what? Maybe we'll just eliminate her as a character in this. She'll just, maybe...
Isn't that right, Miss Mopsy?
Now I'm gonna throw us a little bit of a teaser here, and we don't have to confirm this, but she says exactly what Andrew just said. It was like, isn't that right, Miss Mopsy? And then she turns back, she goes, Miss Mopsy, but Miss Mopsy isn't there. Now Miss Mopsy might be a victim, or something else is going on. Anyways, cut back.
And I think everyone here is like, whoa, what's Terry, very nice guy, stoned out of his mind, but nice guy, is like, yo, little dude, what's happening? Relic? What are you talking? You're not gonna be able to open it like that.
And he immediately grabs a pipe off the ground and just pries because he remembered his physics class with fulcrums. It's something that just came to him in his blazed state. He's like, you gotta get the leverage, man. You gotta get the leverage, little dude. So here you go. And he manages to get the manhole cover off.
No. It totally makes sense. Yeah.
It's an old town. It was made mostly out of wood, and that wood is rotted a long time ago.
Well, I mean, this is an old town, and it's, only the grounds are kept up.
But it does have an elaborate sewer system to have a crazy battle in.
And then, of course, right next to Terry, because they had their little moment, but they're all sort of collected. Terry, Maggie, and Alexander are now all at the manhole, wondering what is going on.
And Victor's like, that thing, it's Seymour Butts. It's the anniversary of his death, and he's coming to kill everyone. And the only way to stop him is to use... Fuck, what is it?
Well, you're trying to figure out what the relic's gonna be, Daniel? Now, I know your first instinct is a giant...
It has to be butt related.
Fuck you, no it doesn't.
Listen now. Electrical outlets have plugs, and so do butts. So,
nope.
I'm not saying it has to be a butt plug, but it could be shaped like one.
It may be triangular in shape.
No, he went mad. He started killing everyone in the town. He was stopped by the old sheriff who shot him dead. No, didn't shoot him. Guns are boring. We're not going to kill him with a gun.
No, he should have been killed in the electric chair.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, obviously it's the electric chair. God damn it, Andrew. Right, of course.
And the last thing he heard when the electric chair went was, again, Old Town, didn't really know what they were doing. They had like a children's choir, like singing, church music, as he was being electrocuted. So that's why, there seems to be some particulars for the youth of the town and maybe the local church.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he was originally, they discover later that his crimes were far more heinous and he was kidnapping and eating children.
Oh, well, I don't know what it was, but I know this. This is the remains of the electric chair that killed him. Well, it's a little cap that they put on his head. If you can put that on his head, it should weaken his powers and make him mortal again for a moment.
I'm looking at the picture of this you had in your pocket. Oh, hi, Alexander. Nice to meet you. Why is the cap shaped like a butt plug?
No, I think you're looking at this wrong. I don't.
Sorry. This was a different page in your pocket. Okay. Oh, now I'm seeing the diagram.
Yeah, dude, little dude. It's you're looking at it upside down, little dude. That's the top. That goes into the plug.
Oh, yeah, you're right. If you just flip it this way. It's so weird.
I don't have time for this conversation. That thing is going to kill us all if we don't get it.
But wait. One second though, dude. It doesn't have a head though.
Oh, that's a good point. If you don't have a head, how are we going to put this cap on it? Well, I guess we need to get the cap first.
I don't have time for this. Victor jumps down into the darkness and pulls out his cell phone to have the light on it as he's starting to look around.
You hear down the block, Miss Spider leans out the door. Terry, you getting me my pizza? I'm fucking hungry as shit, Terry.
No, Miss Spider, we got a mystery to solve and a monster to kill. Pizza after, maybe.
What the fuck? Terry, seriously. Only a few puffs, then pass. You're fucking cranking it, my man. I'm going back inside. And Jeanette, we can all see you, you old bitch. And goes in and closes her door. And the old ladies, like the true final girls, are just taking it easy.
And I think the old ladies leave the story. Or maybe not.
They narratively die.
I think we get a real quick shot. We get a real quick shot of she says that we can see you, Jeanette, but the camera pulls into the window and all that's left is blood on the ground.
Great, perfect. Eliminated her. And I think as Victor jumps down into the sewer, the thing is now going towards them, heading towards them, right by the open manhole.
Guys, we gotta go. We can't just stand here. And Maggie immediately jumps into the manhole.
Whoa, she's pretty freaking cool. And Terry jumps in after, and Alexander obviously follows as well. So they're all in the sewer. That's 5. That's Terry, Maggie, Victor. It's 4 because the spider has narratively left the story.
Great. So wait, is that 4 people?
No, it's 4. It's 4.
This is perfect. 4 is perfect for what's gonna happen here. Because you'll both have 2, and then we'll see how it goes.
Oh boy, this is the showdown.
Yeah. Just a moment. Let me double check for the last scene. And we're adapting these rules a little bit. We should have played with more people. We'll have to play this again. This is a good time.
I know this happened just accidentally, but this is very classic of you've got the badass smarter than cheerleader. You've got the himbo jock who maybe is starting to get a crush on her. And then Maggie's following this cool, mysterious, dark-haired Victor character who she might have a crush on. So you got a weird triangle happening. And then you got the little brother just hanging out.
Oh, see, it's weird. I almost felt like Victor and Alexander were going to be somewhat close to the same age, and they're going to suddenly become best friends because one is a detective and the other one can only dig up things about the town's history.
I guess we never established Victor's age. I'm game with whatever.
Yeah, we don't know how old Victor is.
Yes, that's why it's hard to decipher.
He's actually being played by a 20-year-old, but that could be anything.
They'll all be playing by 20 and 30-year-olds.
No, the old ladies are being played by 30-year-olds.
Hollywood is a cruel, fickle, terrible place. Okay, so Victor's kind of a young kid like Alexander.
Yeah, and they're I think secretly they're becoming best friends because they both want to be investigators.
So the way this is going to work is we are going to play until there's only one person left alive here. And then whoever has, I guess it's probably gonna be Andrew. It's who's ever had the most of their characters killed gets to determine how the thing ends.
Oh, so I get to control the final scene. Awesome.
Well, no, I get to control the final scene until we get to the very, very final. There's one person left.
So when one person remains, I guess Andrew can decide if the final girl, whoever that is, triumphs, Or doesn't triumph. Okay, I like this.
Lives, dies, whatever. Yeah. Although if me and Jay both have 2 characters left here, or actually, so Spider is
narratively dead.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. We'll have to draw for cards to see how that goes. But whatever.
So if I can get Victor and Alexander killed, I can potentially have narrative control here. I will retain narrative control.
But okay. All right. So they're all moving around in the darkness, but the problem is there is a little bit of light behind them as the electricity begins to arc and snap and crawl towards them as they are running down. And they're having to run through the sewer to get to around where this bag with the cap from the electric chair is. Of course.
Can I throw in one thing, Daniel, that they notice? And Alexander, clocks it, that there isn't much electronics down here. So this is kind of the perfect terrain to take it on. Since Alexander and Victor are getting close as well, and they're discussing it, Alexander points as he sees the light moving, and they're running away from this thing, obviously, trying to find the other thing simultaneously. And it's do you notice how it's moving? And Victor looks at it closely and clocks it. It doesn't like the water. And it's as it's crawling through, it's staying above the water line in the sewer that they're stepping through.
Okay, so I think we've established that Jay is playing Victor and Alexander, which means I have Maggie and Terry.
Oh no! I don't want to kill my boys! My boys! But I want narrative power. Oh, no.
And I think as they are running down, they're getting just about to where this thing fell down, and hopefully they're going to be able to find it. But this thing jumps out and tries to devour them. They actually see the bag. It's floating in the water. Gross, gross water. But right as they see it, the thing strikes. This Seymour Butte's creature. So draw cards for the characters you're representing. Let's figure out.
So I added a new. There is a new relationship, which is Victor and Alexander have become friends. So that gives an additional card.
They have become friends, and Victor had a relationship with Gina, and has a relationship with Alexander. So Victor gets 3 cards, and Alexander has a relationship with his sister. Victor, does he get 4 cards with Terry, or no? He just ran into Terry. That's not a relationship.
Yeah, he doesn't have a thing with Terry.
So you get 2 sets of 3, whereas I get 2 sets of 2.
And I'm going to attack everyone, so...
Oh, no. Don't pull an ace again.
It's an 8. So that's risky, but it's not the end of the world. There's not a lot of ambient electricity for it to feed on. It doesn't like the water, but it's still, ready to attack.
Well, I've got my answer for each, so I will put this down here for dramatic tension for each of my characters. So whenever you're ready, Andrew.
All right. Well, I'll put down. Did these put down face down?
Yeah, they'll go down face down if you drag it.
Yeah, you can put them. You can flip them in your. You can flip them in your hand. You can flip them in face down in your hand and then put them down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Well, these are the best cards that I have. So one for Terry and one for Maggie.
All right. Well, let's flip Victor and Terry at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
So obviously Daniel pulled an 8. So far Victor has beaten the 8, and then let's do the other ones.
Oh no, Terry with a 5.
Oh, both of yours are dead, Andrew.
So unfortunately, two things happen. First of all, Terry is very high, and he's next to a pretty girl who's starting to impress him. So
I do want to note real quick, Jay, do you have a relationship with either of those characters? Do your characters have
Not Terry.
Oh, okay.
Not Terry, but he does have a relationship with Maggie. Technically, right now, Alexander can help Maggie. So Terry, though,
you don't have to, but that is an option.
But Terry is very high and next to a pretty girl that's starting to impress him, and he immediately forgets the monster and starts hitting on her and gets mauled immediately.
I think Alexander's going to have to hold on to a card because I can only add, right? I can only add to hers. I can only give a better card.
It replaces hers. Yeah, it would replace hers. Yeah.
Oh, it replaces a card.
So it's mauled Terry. Terry is now being eaten, and it's right next to Maggie. What does Alexander do?
Alexander, I don't know. This is so bad. I'm looking at my remaining cards. Because, Alexander can save her. But then he's very dead after this. But then I would retain narrative power.
So I should let the audience know, I drew a straight of 2, 3, 4, 5. So my characters are pretty much dead regardless.
Yeah, but wait a second. I just realized as I said that, you also just have terrible cards. So we will have, you know what? No, just functionally, it actually would be bad. Because if I saved you, yeah, no, it's not going to work.
Well, you've already been technically saved your characters for now. So we don't know what Daniel's going to draw on his next attack.
Then we'd all just die equally, actually.
And in this moment, I want to add a little narrative piece to this. Victor's realizing part of the legend that he heard about Seymour Buttes is that not only does this water not affect or seem to draw out the electricity, but Seymour Buttes never learned to swim.
That's true. It's true. You know what? Alexander would try to save his sister. His sister, obviously was worried about him. He's gonna play a king. So Alexander, as the monster goes and dives and kills Terry, and as it goes to attack Maggie, Alexander, after recognizing what him and Victor just spoke about, kicks a whole splash of water at the monster, and it does something to it, and it screeches, and it just misses Maggie.
But the one who's been digging, Victor, realizes that there's a double effect. That's where this king comes from. Is there's not only the water because it's dispersing the electricity, but also Seymour seems to be afraid of it.
So for everyone for tracking, Alexander had 2 kings.
He's very prepared.
That kid, boy detective, man, he's very prepared. Victor survived as well with a queen, and Maggie was saved. So we just got to see what happens next. Now, is this another all-out attack, Daniel, against everybody? Or is this monster changing tactics?
I think he was just splashed by Alexander, and I think he's going to target Alexander for that.
Oh, boy. All right, we'll flip your card.
A 4.
Okay, I'm putting my cards away here. Well, it's Alexander's last card. He has no choice. It's a 3.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is why Alexander was hesitant to give away his king. Because his only other option was a terrible card.
Well, technically, Victor right now can save Alexander because they just became best friends.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he could. He would have to put a card higher than a 3 or a 4 to do that. It would require one of those numbers. Victor really wishes he had one of those. Alexander's dead. And we know Maggie doesn't have one of those high numbers because she's just got a 2 or a 3.
That's it for Alexander.
As Seymour is devouring these people, you see that his body is forming to become more and more humanoid as he eats more and more people. And now he looks almost like a man made out of lightning standing there. And you could actually see a face smiling. But it's also got its arms splayed out, clutching the, top of the sewer system, so it's not touching the water. But he's becoming more humanoid, but like a humanoid monstrosity.
Unfortunately, as Alexander dies, Maggie, saved by her little brother, Maggie screams, "Alex, no!" and immediately starts running.
What a response. She grieved quickly.
Yeah, well, what's she gonna do?
Well, I mean, she could try to... I guess she doesn't quite understand the only thing that can stop it. It's in the sewer right there.
That's true. Now, Daniel, what does this monster do next? It's got two targets.
It's gonna try to finish the meal that it was eating before. It's, no, you know what? I'm gonna flip a coin.
Oh, okay. I think because Daniel knows we both have terrible cards, and he's effectively deciding who dies here.
I think that's pretty close. I mean, I don't know what card I'm gonna draw. Andrew, heads or tails?
Heads.
I got heads.
Dang.
Is that good for Andrew or bad for Andrew?
I probably should have established that, shouldn't I?
I was gonna ask. I was like, does that mean it goes for Maggie or it doesn't go for?
No, it means it goes for him. It does mean it goes for him.
It goes for me. That is what I was putting down. Is I figured it. Whatever I pick, it goes for.
As she starts to run in panic, you now actually hear a voice, a low sort of laughing voice. You can't get away from me, little girl. And he is going to draw a jack.
Well, unfortunately, a 3 does not beat a jack.
No, a 3 does not beat a jack.
Since this is the last person alive, which is Victor, I just want to show you that my 2 cards are a 2 and a 3. Victor had a 2, 3, and a queen, and Alexander had 2 kings and a 3.
Yeah, poor Terry, high out of his mind, only drew a 2 and a 3. So he was right there with you. All right, so that means, well, I guess I control the narrative.
You control the finish here.
Yeah, she screams, and then Butts is upon her and starts to devour her. He's almost distracted. He's so busy, like, munching, because there's not really anything electrical down here to, like, be feasting on, so he's just sort of feasting on, like, the electricity that's in these human bodies, and also likes the flesh. He seems to have forgotten Victor for a moment. And now, Andrew, you get to wrap it up.
Well, Victor, something unexpected has happened in this occurrence. He's become more human, which ironically has made it harder for him to navigate this tunnel and to stop from touching the water. So he's almost like straddled across with a stream of water coming beneath him, and he doesn't notice as he devours Maggie that a mysterious piece of junk seems to be going with the flow right towards Victor. Does Victor notice?
I half was hoping, Andrew, that you were going to say, now that he's become more human, it's very easy to know where his butt is.
There is now a butt.
Oh boy.
In fact, he does have his back to Victor, and Victor is a lot smaller than Mr. Seymour Butts. So getting to his head may actually be quite difficult.
But does he do it? You get to decide. It's all you.
There are no more cards, Andrew. He is the final girl.
Oh, gotcha. Victor realizes that the time has come to put the legend of Seymour Butts to rest. And he grabs the recognizable piece of junk that Seymour, in his, let's say, arrogance, his towering arrogance of unlife, has failed to notice the thing that killed him. And Victor picks up the package with this oddly shaped cap that has sort of a butt plug end on the end of it where the electrical cord went in.
Fuck off.
And he decides, you know what? Fuck this guy. And he walks up to him and he says, hey, Seymour Butts, how does this feel? And he rams the thing right into his butt.
Can I give you one studio note? He says, up yours.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Hey, Seymour Butts, up yours. And he rams the thing up his butt, and there's just enough cord left in this thing that it connects to the water and immediately fries Seymour Butts, and he screams out, no! And he vaporizes from existence. And we immediately panned to outside to the spider's thing as all the electricity comes back on, and she's like, finally, I can order that pizza.
Yes.
End scene.
That was a real good time.
That was a lot of fun.
Fucking.
I love that the spider lady is just high as shit and she doesn't know anything went on. And it's just like, where's that fucking pizza?
I'm sorry, guys. I apologize to our audience. I had to do Seymour Butts. I could not resist.
No, it was very good.
We listen. We gave Daniel the warning. We said, you want to do this. You know what's going to happen.
It's a real Eldari hole situation
Yeah, it's a real Eldari hole.
For those who listen to our old podcast.
You let us get away with this now. We will take this entirely to the butthole. And we did.
That was tons of fun, Daniel.
I'm proud of us.
All right. Well, thanks.
Daniel, that was great stuff.
Thanks for playing. Do you guys have anything you want to plug or anything before we head out?
Plug your podcast, Daniel. Love it. Had an absolute great time. Had a great time, even though it seems like we are
Yes.
still contractually tethered to one another, Andrew, via the via the evil contract we did sign. But, this made the contract a lot more easy to take, Daniel. So I loved it. Had a fantastic time. And honestly, first time I ever played this kind of like horror roleplay-esque game. Loved it.
Yeah, this is really good. I really like this system.
It's super fun. I like that it's very manipulatable. Like, I feel like if we did a thing next time, we could just organize it to not just have one person remaining if this story seemed to be going that direction. It seems to lend itself for you to, like, choose your own adventure, which is very cool.
Exactly, yeah.
I actually loved the just, like, story, like, sandbox that this, like, forces you to, like, commit to things. Forces you to commit to character deaths and forces you to commit to, like, actually, I enjoyed that when we quickly realized that we weren't killing characters off fast enough, that it forced us to, like, create scenarios that would combine all the characters and
immediately kill them.
Yeah, that went bad quick.
I do enjoy the fact that it jumps from player to player with regards to being in the monster control. I think that's super cool. And I do like the fact that as bad as it seems, it's so on track that I did not draw a card above a 10. I mean, like, my word.
You quote-unquote rolled terribly. Your draws were pretty rough.
Apparently my rolls extends to cards as well, so on brand.
On brand for sure.
All right. Well, I think we should definitely should shout out this system again. It's called The Final Girl by Brett Gillian. I know I said that at the top, but saying it again because that sounds like what we're plugging. This system rules.
Yeah, the system was tons of fun. Thanks, Brett.
Well, that's been Daniel's Dread Tales. I don't know what the ending is. We're going to edit in music and stuff at the end here and, like, do some sort of stuff. It doesn't matter. We're done.
Should we stop?
Bye!
Bye. Thanks for listening, boils, ghouls, and emboos. Special thanks to Jay and Andrew for joining us this week. Please join us again in 2 weeks for a brand new arc. And join us on our Daniel's Dread Tales Discord. I'm on there. I'm nice. Say hi. You can find a link to it in our episode description or on our Twitter at Dan's Dread Tales. All one word. The 2 best ways you could help our podcast grow is to review us on your podcast platform of choice and tell a friend you think might like the show. Though seriously, please review us. It really does help a lot. You could find me on Twitter at LOTR_Dan. We'll see you all in 2 weeks on March 24th for a brand new story and game in the Slayers system. It's about monster hunters going up against horrible monsters. And I get to be a player this time. Thanks again for listening, and have a chilling day.